So let's start today. Today we have with us Professor Ian Angel from the London School of Economics, and we're going to have a discussion on issues of viral marketing, Creative Commons licenses, open content, and the future of innovation. There is a great discussion currently in the UK in relation to the cultural sector and how cultural sector could benefit out of licensing schemes like Creative Commons or the public domain in general. What's your opinion?
Well, there's a great misunderstanding about the idea of common property, and a lot of opportunities are being missed. When you think about it, museums and the like spend a lot of money on advertising. They're very concerned about their image. They want people in the community to become involved. And yet they have this huge amount of images, intellectual property, whatever you want to call it, that is available on their websites. But if anyone downloads it and uses it, there's a problem with intellectual property. One of the issues that I feel is very important is if they only put low resolution images, reasonable enough so it looks clean and clear on the website, but can't be used for printing at any sort of size, then what you've actually got is viral marketing. People in the community will use those images. Every blogger would use the images that identify their museum with their area, with themselves. And then anyone who reads the blog will then see the image and think, when was the last time I went to the museum? Let's pop in and have a look. We can meet there. That's where we go to have coffee, to discuss things. So it's all part and parcel of developing a community spirit, and it will cost them nothing.
But isn't that, I mean, there are people that would argue that such an approach would cause all sorts of risks for the museums. There are people believing that the biggest asset a museum has is its own intellectual property. How would you respond to that? Wouldn't you say that these kinds of leftist open source stuff and open content stuff are going to just totally destroy their business? And
I am a capitalist, an unashamed capitalist. And what's important is making money, not hoping to make money on something you haven't sold yet. The first thing, before you can make any money, you have to create a market. How do you create a market? That's what advertising is all about. By using Creative Commons or a similar entity where you allow people free use of low or lower resolution images, what you are actually doing is getting those people to advertise your museum for you. It makes perfect sense. People will use it. It makes their documents look sexier. It identifies your museum as being a core to the culture of the area in which it's operating. These people wouldn't pay to use that image. They wouldn't use the image. Therefore, there's no income for you anyway. This way, you are raising the profile of the museum within people who are living and working in your area. You are bringing the museum to the attention of these people, and they will come and visit and will spend money there, spend time there, and they will tell their friends about it. It's marketing, creating a market.
So you would say that, if I get your argument right, or an aspect of your argument right, that this kind of virtual marketing, viral marketing happening over a virtual space like the internet is actually increasing, let's say, the marketability of the physical space.
It's like plastic bags. Supermarkets put their names on the sides of plastic bags. And everyone who goes to the supermarket and walks off with a Tesco bag or a Sainsbury's bag is actually advertising those stores around the area. So this is what's going on. You're advertising the commitment of the museum to the area, the willingness to join with people, to give them a free good. But as a return, you get exposure, you get visits, you get commitment.
Now, taking the totally opposite side, I would say, all right, Professor Angel, you're right. It does indeed increase create a new market, and it shows this kind of commitment. But the metaphor you've used was one of plastic bags, and I'm not entirely sure whether museums would be particularly happy associating their exhibits to plastic bags. So saying that pretty much what a museum has is totally something, a commodity. And in that sense, don't you think that such an approach runs the risk of actually totally commoditizing a museum and making it lose its original mission?
We're talking about marketing. Okay, you don't like the idea of Tesco's and Sainsbury's. Let's make it a Harrods bag then. It's exactly the same idea. Nothing has changed. People see you walking down the street with a Harrods bag and think, oh, they've been to Harrods. When was the last time I went to Harrods? Oh, pop in there. Most people won't act on it, but some people will. The whole point of viral marketing is mass exposure. It goes around the whole community and it triggers the idea of a visit among a small percentage of the population. But if that population becomes aware, and that population is large, then even a small percentage becomes a real commercial possibility. That's what marketing is all about. And here we are seeing a total misunderstanding of intellectual property. Instead of seeing it as a means of creating a market, it's seen as creating income. And the income comes in from secondary sources. You use the image itself purely as marketing and the money comes elsewhere. Now, the big problem with giving away images for free is that they could be used on things like bags, all sorts of other items like mugs and so on. However, if the quality, the resolution of the image is not that good, it's fine to appear on an internet screen, it's fine if you're giving a lecture, say, but it cannot be used to produce a large poster to go on the wall. Then the very exposure of that image to a population will mean that some people will like that image and they will come to the museum to buy prints of it and you make a profit. That's what's important. Create the market and they will come. The market is there, and why not take advantage of it by giving away? It's like handing out flyers. There's no difference. It's a flyer. Raising the profile within a community.
Moving from museums to the broader public sector, do you see an interest of the public sector in open content and public domain type of works? How or why would an organization that belongs to the broader public sector be interested or incentivized to use such licenses?
More and more people are using the internet. More and more people are blogging. More and more people are creating documents, letters they send at Christmas to their friends, word processed, desktop publishing. They want to make these look sexy. They want them to look attractive. And if they have the ability to include images that add to the attraction of what they're writing, then they'll do it. And by doing that, again, they're raising the profile. The relationship between the local community and the museum, or whoever owns the original artifact that is being shown on the internet. And the whole point of a public institution, such as a museum, is to have a relationship with the community. And if it's nothing but upfront, in your face, pay, you're not going to get that relationship. The subtle thing is to get payment from secondary sources. Visits, going to the local cafe, so that they actually get income from alternative means. buying the poster that you've seen on the internet, buying it through the internet. But if you have to pay to put a low-resolution image on your own blog, on your own website, on your own letter, you won't do it. And what's worse is that we have a society now which is spied on to check whether these images are being used. And the ultimate effect is that society will then begin to see intellectual property as actually a problem. It's actually something that separates the institution from the society. It has a very, very negative connotations in the mind of the population. We paid our taxes, and the taxes are paying for the museum, and now they want to charge us even more. That's the ultimate conclusion. And then there'll be a resentment. They don't feel linked to the museum, and therefore they resent the museum, and they resent paying their taxes to the museum. And then whenever the time comes up for the money to be spent, budget time, there will be no payment. What did they ever do for us? Now, this is something that the museum can do for a wide proportion of the population. It costs them absolutely nothing. And in the process, they are generating a potential market that will raise their income. It makes commercial sense. This isn't a silly populist notion I'm talking about. I'm a capitalist. This is generating a market. And it's expensive to generate a market. If you go to a company that does this, here is a possibility of doing it basically for free. All you have to do is to put these images, low resolution, on the internet site of the museum and tell everybody they are welcome to download them and to use them on a certain range of documents, be it a blog, or be it a family letter, or be it a lecture to the Mothers' Union. Then you have a relationship, then you have commitment, then you have a market.
So I would like to stop at this stage. I would like to thank you for these very insightful comments, and I think we're going to return to these issues.
Excellent.
Thank you.
So